I'm about to do my running for today, and I'm looking for any excuse to put it off just a little bit longer because I'm kind of unmotivated, even though I really know that I need to. I was preparing to make a video about the weight that I've lost and gained again and all that kind of stuff, and so I was looking through pictures and I saw some from when I was my smallest, which made me really mad at myself because in my brain I think I thought that I didn't look much different, but when I saw the pictures, I obviously could see where 30 pounds has added itself unto me. So I decided that I would start to make this video and maybe I could talk myself into getting excited about going to run today. There are a lot of times that I do get pumped up, and especially once I get started, I'm sure I'll be fine. But it's actually turning on the treadmill and getting on it. Oh, that's the hardest part. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to share how that I lost almost 100 pounds and things that happened that helped me to gain it back. And I mean, I know what I need to do, and that's why I'm doing it again. I know what works. That's what's so frustrating, is I know that if I do things the way that I did before, that I will lose weight. It's just my problem has always been timing. I have zero patience. And so if I go running one day, I expect to lose 10 pounds by the next morning, or I want to give up, which is ridiculous because it took me almost a year and a half to lose as much weight as I did. Um, and I know the things that really helped me were having goals that weren't necessarily weight related. Like, for instance, I had bought a bridesmaid's dress for a wedding that was happening like 10 months later. And so I purposely bought one that was 2 sizes too small because it was like a $160 dress. And I knew that I would not squeeze myself into it, that I would actually do the work because I spent the money. And I did. So um, I'm trying to think of other um, motivating factors here. Like, I'm going on a cruise in April, and of course I don't want to not be able to walk around the cities that we go to, and I don't want people to have to roll me off the boat, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get my life together and lose the weight again so that I can feel comfortable um, being active. And I also want to do another half marathon. I did one, so I know I can. It's it's all mental for me. Like, it's not physical at all. I know that my body can do these things. It's just my brain tells me that you need to eat a pan of cookies at midnight and you should not run because it's cold out, or you have a runny nose, or your toe sort of hurts a little. I don't know. I think of every excuse, and it's I don't know. I know that I can do good when I set my mind to it. So basically, if you have only met me in recent years, I used to weigh about 250 pounds. The biggest was obviously right before I gave birth to Jude, but right after my first baby, I thought that I was going to walk out of the hospital and be like size 2, like this is all baby weight. That was a lie. He weighed 6 pounds, and I think I might have lost like 8 pounds total. So my dreams were shattered. I didn't walk out of the hospital being a model. I also was trying to breastfeed, so I was like, I gotta eat the calories because I gotta get this baby food, you know? So I still pigged out for forever. And it actually wasn't until my third baby that I decided enough was enough. I was wearing a size 22, and I think at the time I might have been like 230 pounds. And I just couldn't do anything. I hated everything that I wore. My husband was half my size. I couldn't wear any of his clothes. It just was awful. I hated shopping. I hated eating in public. I hated being around people that were skinny. I hated being around people that were big. I just hated everything because I was really uncomfortable with myself. And so um, basically it started, I would say, around like puberty. I didn't have great eating habits, and I had nobody to kind of put me in check. And so I would pretend like I was exercising. Like, I remember being so stupid. I was just a dumb kid. But I had like this little table in my room, and I thought, oh, like I'll just walk around in circles around it, and eventually like it'll be like a mile, and I will have walked a mile like in a circle around this table like 1,000 times, whatever. And I did that like an idiot. And of course I didn't lose any weight because after that I ate a whole bag of chips. And then I do remember being probably like 12 years old, and I think I weighed like 190, which is especially difficult when you're um, not super developed as a woman yet. So it's not like it's all in the hips. I was just a blob of a person. And it was rough. And then eventually when I was like 15, I met Brandon, and being around him made me really nervous. I obviously didn't want to shove pizza in my face in front of him because I thought he would vomit when he looked at me. So I didn't eat a whole lot. Also, like being like nervous about stuff, like I don't know how to explain it. When you're like excited about something or nervous, and so you don't want to eat, like if you're getting ready to give a speech, like that kind of thing, is how I felt about Brandon. So I didn't want to eat, and so accidentally I ended up losing some weight, and I think I was about 170, which back then, of course, I was like, oh, I'm such a fat lord, I hate my life, I don't want to go in public, and like that was before children even. Like I would have killed to have that body back when I was 250 and 230 and whatever. So anyway, I ran my mouth like an idiot, and I was able, I mean, I didn't try to lose weight, so I ate whatever I wanted. It got really bad when I got married, because then I was adulting and I could go to Taco Bell at midnight if I wanted to and order as much food as I wanted. And then on top of that, we were not in church, and so we drank heavily a lot. And one of the drinks I would drink was probably like 230 calories a piece, and I would have like 8, 9, 10, 11 of those drinks while also shoving my face full of food. And so all these empty calories and all this stuff piled on. In about 6 months, I had gained like 50 pounds after being married. And Brandon did too, but he was also like 120 pounds when we got married. So, and he's a man, so it was totally unfair. Anyway, so I didn't even care at that point that I was big. I had gone walking with some friends, but we would also finish walking and then go get ice cream and stuff because it was more about having fun with each other than it was actually exercising. And so then I got pregnant. I think before I got pregnant with Jude, I was in Weight Watchers and I did really good. I had like lost 10 pounds, got my little ribbon and everything, and then I got pregnant and they were like, pregnant people can't do Weight Watchers because you have to have the calorie bulk. They thought you were going to cut enough calories or you're going to starve to death. But I was like, look at me, I'm not going to starve to death. Come on. So anyway, they kicked me out and I was like, well, forget them. And I just got fat again. Well, I stayed fat. Yeah, that's what happened. So I had the baby, still didn't care. I mean, I would eat. I remember thinking how disgusting I was that I would like order a whole pizza and I could eat a whole pan pizza, and then I would still go toast up some um, fudge Pop-Tart things, and I'd eat those, and then I'd make a pan of cookies, and then, I mean, I literally never felt full. I never knew that feeling. I also never felt hungry, if you can imagine that. Like, my stomach didn't growl for like 15 years because I was constantly feeding it. And so I just ate whatever I wanted. And then I got pregnant again with Sydney, and I think I had like accidentally lost weight again because her pregnancy pictures, I don't look quite as large, but there was no, I mean, I didn't try. I just maybe gave up pop or something. I don't know. And so then I had her, of course, ate whatever I wanted during the pregnancy, got real big again. And then, well, by then we had stopped drinking because we were in church. So maybe that's how I lost the weight. And so, a little bit of weight. And so, after her, let's see, I had about a year. I wasn't planning on my third child. So I was sort of trying to exercise. We had a gym at our condo and I kind of did stuff like once a month or whatever. And I wasn't picking out quite as bad. But then I got pregnant with my third and I was totally unprepared. And there was a lot of issues with her pregnancy. They had thought earlier on that she might have Down syndrome, and there was some issues with her heart. Like, I was just too stressed out to even care about food. Like, I wasn't paying attention to what I put in. I just wasn't, I had enough on my mind. I didn't want to worry about food too. And so then she was born. We didn't know until she was born that she she still does, yeah. She has Down syndrome. And so that was pretty stressful. We knew she had to have the heart surgery within 6 months of her being born. And again, I wasn't super on the ball at first, but I remember she was born November 29th. And December 25th was obviously Christmas. You know that. I don't know why I just told you that. So the 26th, I said, I'm going to get serious about this because if I'm going to go through all this with her, like, I want to be here long enough to see her. Like, I don't want to get sick and be old or not be old and make myself sick because of food or whatever and not be able to be there for her. And so I started on December 26th, and I assumed it was going to be like, I'm just going to go to the gym, I'm going to run 10 miles, I'm going to lose all this weight. So I went to the gym the first day, and I just was like, I'm just going to see like what my baseline is. How far can I run on a treadmill? And again, I was like 230 pounds. That's a lot of weight to be, it's a lot of shock on your ankles and all, whatever. And I'd never, ever run, really, ever, unless it was like towards a food truck, you know what I'm saying? So I, I started that day. I went to my treadmill at the gym, and I think I ran for a full 3 minutes, which I thought was pretty good. I was pretty proud of myself. But then I immediately stopped. I didn't cool down because I didn't know anything about, I didn't warm up and I didn't cool down. And I stopped, and I just remember like, I was like dry heaving beside the treadmill because I thought I was going to vomit, and it just, everything was shutting down in my body. It was not okay with what just happened. And I just thought, you know what? I did 3. So tomorrow I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 3 minutes, 5 seconds. That's all. Because I know I can do that. I'm going to push it a little more each day. And I got the app MyFitnessPal, and I started logging every calorie I ate. If I ate 1 carrot, which I didn't, if I did, I logged it. If I had sauce for some kind of meat, I logged it. If I had a sip of juice, I logged it. I logged everything, and I had 1,200 to 1,500 calories, and then I did let myself eat back whatever I burn off. And so I did that. I started to do, 3 minutes, 5 seconds, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. And then I would run intervals, and I got my body used to it. And I would cross train on an elliptical because it burnt more calories. And I was like, we need to do this quick. So there's a quicker way to burn calories. And I did the bike at the gym and all this kind of stuff. And I logged everything I ate. And then I found out that there was a Down syndrome race, the first one ever, the year that she was born. And I thought, that's really cool. So not the first Down syndrome race ever, the first one by these people in Central Ohio that we're a part of. And so I was like, I'm going to sign up for this race in May. I had the baby in November, started my diet December 26th. The race was in May, and it was a 5K. And I said, I'm running this 5K. I don't care if I die, I'm running it. And so what I did was every time I went to the gym, I would go 3.1 miles, and I would walk when I needed to, but I would just say, whatever my time is today, cut 5 seconds off tomorrow. So I started, my first 5K that I did at home in my gym was like 49 minutes, which is real bad. It was like mostly walking. It was bad. Or I would run, but then I'd have to walk so slow to like recover that it just made it a mess. Well, then I got down to like 45, 41, 39, 38, 36, 34, 32, 31, and I was pretty consistent at like 31. And so that's when I ran my first race with a friend, and I think I finished the race in like 31:08, which was a lot different than running on a treadmill. So my face was like red. People probably thought I was dying. My face turns red instantly when I work out, which people end up like thinking I'm dying, but it just happens. I'm okay. So anyway, I did that, and then I thought, I really like the feeling of accomplishment. You get a medal, you get this bib, and you just know you've done something. And so I was going to run the 5K every year, which I have. And then I also joined a couple other ones. I did a color race with some friends. I did, there's a girl that was in the hospital next to McKenna. She passed away, and they have a race in her honor. I've done that one twice. And then we finally decided that me and my husband both were going to do a half marathon, which was some crazy training. But I did it, and I ran all of it, and I was super proud of myself. And so by then, I had lost, the first 3 months, I lost 10 pounds a month because I was just going at it hard. And that was really encouraging because I was like, in a month I can lose 10 pounds, man. I'm going to reach my goal by the next Christmas. And so I joined all the races and stuff that I could, and I was working out, and I was watching what I was eating, and I was doing everything right. And I lost, I started on MyFitnessPal. When I first logged in, my weight was 210 when I first recorded it, because that's all I have to go by. And then when I logged in at my lowest, which would have been probably 2014. So she was born in 2012. So this is 2 years of working really hard. I was like 144. And so that's why I say almost 100, because I was like 250, 230, and then the time I recorded it officially was like 210. So it's kind of whatever. But anyway, so I got down to 144, and I was a little... I didn't look exactly right because I had only ran. I didn't do strength training, so you could see my ribs, and people made fun of me, Michael. Anyway, saying that I looked like I was from Ethiopia and stuff and whatever. My legs were really strong, so they are huge, like Christmas hams. But everything up from the waist up, it I just had no muscle tone at all. And I still really don't do very good at working on that. I'm really bad about strength training because I want to see the results, and the results are to lose stuff, and then you see, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I know it's not logical, but that's what my brain does. So anyways, after I ran my half marathon, I took a while to recover, which was not wise. You're kind of supposed to, like, the next day maybe walk like 2 miles. The next couple weeks do, build back up and keep your body going. But I didn't. I took a break for 9 months. Didn't run, and I thought, like, oh, I just achieved this. I can do whatever. And honestly, for like the first 9 months, I could eat whatever I wanted. I would pig out on some Chinese food, and I was back to like my crazy binging where I would eat like whole pizzas, and I didn't gain any weight because I had spent 2 years training my metabolism to, like, this isn't normal. Just work it off. Do whatever you got to do. But then after my body realized that this is becoming habitual and you eat like this constantly, it was like, forget it. We're out. We're done with you. So then I started gaining the weight back, and I had gained about 30. And so now that was, let's see, 2014. Now we're in 19. So it's been quite a few years of me just like yo-yoing back and forth, 30 pounds here, 30 pounds there. And I've still been running my 5K for Down syndrome, but I haven't been very good at training at it. So my times are really horrible. And I've not done another half marathon, even though every year I say I'm going to. Last year, I ran 350 miles total, which was the most I had ever done. The year before that was 192. The year before that was 170 total. And those include my half marathon and races and stuff. So my goal this year is just to run more than 350. And I'm going to sign up for another half marathon. And I'm going to do the other 5Ks and stuff. But I just wanted to kind of share the things that I know for sure work because I've lost weight with them. I know that it works. I'm re-implementing those things now as I try to lose this last like 30 pounds again. And I just want to share like things that really helped me, things that I had to do away with so that I wouldn't be tempted, things that encouraged me to keep going. And I mean, it's all stuff that I've put into practice and 100% for sure works. So if you do these things, you will lose weight. I mean, I got all kinds of books from the library. I studied all this stuff out. Like I put a lot into this, and I tested theories to see what works for me because not everything works for everybody. But I thought these are surefire ways to lose the weight. I'm going to do this. And so these are the things that I did, the ways that I stayed motivated when I didn't want to work out or when I didn't want to eat right or when I did mess up. How did I, bounce back from that or blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So I just want to put it in a video because a lot of people message me and ask me, well, first of all, people who didn't know that I was real big are always like, no way, you weighed that much? And I'm like, yeah, it's on Facebook. I mean, you can go see it. And so I show them, they're like, no way, that's not you. And how'd you do it? And everybody is always so shocked that the answer isn't like, oh, I did the cabbage soup diet. Oh, I did the keto, trim healthy, like all these things that exist that I don't do all that. I log calories and I run. That's what I do because it's simple. And so I just got a text and it threw me off because I was trying to read it and think at the same time, and now my brain shut down. What was I saying? Anyway, so they always get confused about like, well, that's just too simple. I need like a better plan or whatever. So I didn't do anything fancy, but there are just ways that I set myself up so that I could succeed. I didn't want to set myself up for failure like by buying a bunch of junk food and keeping it in the house or whatever. So I'm going to go do my run right now after my dog stops barking. And then I will make another portion of this video. Hopefully my face won't be like burning red. But I'll make another portion of this video where I talk about the things that I did that 100% for sure worked. And if you, are one of these people that ask me all the time, I can't say all this or write this out like enough times to be like, oh, here's the answer, here's the answer, here's the answer. Because it's a lot. And so maybe I can just reference people to this video and then I don't have to explain everything over and over again. They can just kind of figure it out from the video rather than me have to explain it over and over and over again to people who didn't know that I lost that much weight. So anyway, I'm going to go run. We'll see how it goes. Last time I ran a 37 minute 5K. The time before that was 34, so I was bummed that it went back down, but we're going to see how today goes. My time today was 37:35, so it actually got worse. But I ran the whole thing, as evidenced by the fact that I look like I just got out of the shower, but I've not done that yet. My face is bright red. So I'm going to shower all this mess off, and then I will get the list. And as of today, I started working out on December 31st. This is my calendar. I'm not sure if it'll be backwards or not. But basically it's so shaky. I put my measurements and I put my weight at the very top, and then I put whatever exercise I do for that day. I don't know if I can spin this while it's going. Clearly not. Okay. So on Sunday, the 2 days before the new year, I was 179 and I went for a 3-mile walk. And then I put down each weight. So I was 177, 176, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 0. The reason I'm saying all this is because I mark it down every single day. Some people find that very obsessive. I measure myself daily. Actually, I do it about 100 times a day. I'm not even joking. But the reason that I write it every day is because sometimes I'll feel like it's been a week and I haven't lost any weight. Well, there might be 3 days in a row where it stayed the same, but collectively it's gone down. And if I put it on the calendar, then I can look in terms of, you know what, last Monday I was 179, but this Monday I'm 173 or 170 like I am today. So it's been, what's today? 16, 17, 8, it's been 18 days that I've been working at losing weight, and I've lost 9 pounds so far. So I can see over time what I've lost. That's why I put it on there. And then I also track my miles. That's how I knew I did 350 the previous year and then 192. And then it's nice because at the end of the year you can look back and you can say like, man, in January I was this, in February I was this, in March I was this, and blah, blah, blah. So I literally log every single detail of my life, my food, my exercise, miles, weight, BMI, body percent fat, measurements. That way, if nothing moves, like say the scale doesn't move for a while and I'm frustrated, I can measure and be like, you know what, I lost an inch in my thigh. I'm good. That's enough for me. So I forgot to mention that before. But as of today, I'm 170. Yeah. So I'm trying to get back down to like 150 is where I'd like to be. But I forgot to mention that before. That's it.